Sai Ram. So we take up the next chaupai. विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर. Then the next one, प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया. You are the wisest of the wise, virtuous and clever. You are always eager to serve Rama in his mission. You feel extremely delighted in listening to Rama's stories, Rama's doings, and Rama's conduct. Lord Rama, Mother Sita, and Brother Lakshmana dwell forever in your heart. विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर. Vidya, here in Awadhi it is pronounced as Vidya. You are the repository of learning, virtuous, very wise and intelligent. You are ever willing to carry out the behests of Lord Sri Rama. What are the three qualities of Hanumanji referred here? Vidya, Guna and Chaturtha. One should always exist with the combination of the three, Jnana, Guna and Chaturtha, wisdom. Hanuman is a scholar in all the fields of learning and is a storehouse of all scriptural knowledge. He graces all types of knowledge, secular and spiritual, to one who worships him sincerely. Guni, a person of great virtuous is Guni. In Hindi, we refer to such a person and we say, हाँ वो तो बहुत गुणी आदमी है. One of Hanuman's most outstanding virtues is his total devotion and surrender to Sri Rama. It is through this quality that a host of other noble virtues on their own manifest in him. He expresses his devotion through his service that shines with the excellence and perfection, with his excellence and perfection. No work is ever left incomplete and no undertaking is too difficult. No matter how exceedingly the situation may look, Hanumanji never loses his courage, his faith in the Lord. Never shakes even for a fraction of a second. We have already revered Sri Hanuman as Jnana Guna Sagara, ocean of Vidya and Guna. Jnana, Vidya, Guna. Ati Chatur. When one is bestowed with Vidya, secular knowledge most often, and sometimes also spiritual knowledge, we observe in this world that such a person always tries to use his knowledge cleverly to gain some or other thing in this present day world. It can be money, it can be power, it can be anything. In contrast, what Goswami Tulsidas ji says or means when he sings the glory of Hanuman and reveres him as Ati Chatur. The word Chatur indicates that Hanuman resolves difficult situations with shrewdness, creativity, and intelligence. With the demoness Surasa, he first challenges her by increasing his size as she opens her mouth wider and wider. Then he makes himself so small that he enters her mouth and comes out immediately, thus winning the goodwill of the mother of the serpents and showing to the gods his capability of penetrating and entering Lanka and finding Mata Sita. Again, shrewdly he enters the city at night, reducing his size to that of an insect. When his tail was to be set alight, he sees the benefit in it and so elongates his tail to a huge length. And with that long tail burning, he leaps from building to building, setting the golden city Lanka on fire. We are all describing the quality of Ati Chatur of Hanumanji here. When he goes in search of the life-restoring herb for the cure of Sri Lakshmana and cannot identify it, he carries the entire mountain to Lakshmana's rescue. With his deep knowledge and wisdom, Hanuman is able to uplift a person who is sunk in grief from separation from Lord. How? Mother Sita is in the depth of depression, so called, and wants to end her life as she sees no hope of rescue. Ravana had given her an ultimatum that he would kill her if she did not accept him in a limited span of time. Again, to introduce himself to Sita, hiding among the leaves of the tree, he softly sings the glories of the Lord. And as he sings the glory of Sri Rama, the cloud of sorrow that is hanging over Mother Sita starts to dissipate. It's a similar situation when he sees Bharata waiting for the return of his Lord, his mind sinking in the ocean of grief because of separation from his brother Rama. Bharata had announced that if the Lord does not return as per his promise, he would put an end to his life. Again here, Atichatur Hanuman, in the guise of a Brahmin, comes to his rescue. He gives him the news of Sri Rama, that he has conquered his enemy and is safely returning with Mother Sita and Lakshmana. This news takes Bharata out of his sorrow. Brother Sundar shares a story narrated by Swami while talking about this particular Chopai as to what is Chaturtha. Swami tells this story. Swami says, in essence, not quoted, one should be never angry. A sage passes by a village. No villager is coming out. They are all scared about a cobra. The cobra stares the sage. Sage says, I am not afraid of you. Please do whatever you want to do. Sage teaches this spirit to that snake and tells, you should control your anger. You should not scare the villagers anymore. And following the sage's instructions to the core, the snake starts being very soft, very sattvic, and it stops biting the villagers. It stops causing any terror to the villagers. Initially, the villagers are not believing that the cobra has become so sattvic, but when they see after few days, they start making fun of the snake and also even end up throwing stones at the snake. The snake is bleeding and is in the last stage. The sage comes, meets the snake in bad condition, and asks the snake, what happened to you? Snake says, oh master, I have been following your advice not to cause any harm to the villagers, and see what they have made out of me in return. The sage says, Swami is telling this story, you have completely misunderstood what I taught you. I told you not to bite anyone, not to hurt them, but I did not tell you not to hiss at them if they intend to hurt you. This is a huge lesson for us in our life, which we must apply very carefully. Many situations will arise frequently in our life with our children, with our family members, and sometimes at the work front, and sometimes amongst relatives, in society, etc. Where situations may arise where we have to pretend to be strict, like hissing, without being really annoyed, without actually reacting. That is without actually biting. And we as human beings have to go a step beyond the snake. We have to ensure that while we have to be strict outwardly sometimes, inwardly there has to be love in our heart. This love is our unique quality which can ultimately unite us with God. Swami says love is God. Ram kaj karibe ko atur. Hanuman was constantly engaged in the work of Sri Ram. During the wartime, throughout the day, sometimes staying close to the Lord, sometimes staying away from Him, sometimes fighting the enemies, and sometimes serving at the feet of the Lord at night. Not only occasionally, but most of the time, the Lord would touch Hanuman's body, and all the tiredness of Hanuman would go away instantly. When Lord Rama used to sleep, Hanumanji would build a fort with his long tail and sit at the door and guard it all night and fight again till morning. If there was any difficult task, Jamvan, Sugriv and Angad all would always take shelter of Hanuman. When Hanumanji was flying across the ocean, Mainaka, a winged mountain, rose from the bottom of the sea and offered him a place of rest. But Hanuman refused, saying, "There can be no rest for me until I have accomplished the work of Sri Rama." This is the atur or the eagerness. And in spiritual path, this atur or eagerness depicted by Hanumanji gives us the lesson that we have to be always eager in our spiritual sadhana, always crave for realizing God, mumukshatva, for liberation. And one very important lesson in this context of eagerness to take up the spiritual path or to serve the Lord in His mission in the spiritual path, especially for we Sai Sevaks, along with the eagerness, we have to totally, wholly absorb Hanumanji's quality of humility. Humility is in direct proportion to one's surrender and effacement of one's ego. Hanuman's humility reflects total absence of his ego. Once such service along with sadhana, with eagerness and humility is taken up by us in total surrender, universe then takes care of us and our task. Hanumanji sees himself as an instrument and knows that it is Lord's power that works through him. When Hanuman returns to Sri Rama after his heroic and marvelous deeds in his first visit to Lanka, Sri Rama is wonderstruck and asks, "Tell me, O Hanuman, how you were able to enter such a strong, such a city guarded and protected by such mighty asuras, and how could you kill so many demons and set alight the golden city of Lanka?" Hanuman replies, this is in Ramacharita "A monkey's greatest valor lies in his skipping from one boat to another. That I should have been able to leap across the ocean. It can just maybe jump from one tree to another tree, one stone to another tree. But here, I could leap across the ocean, burn the golden city, kill the demon hordes, and lay waste the Ashoka grove was all due to you, Sri Rama. No credit goes to me for that. Lesson for all spiritual aspirants and all the sevaks in Sai's mission. Atur, eagerness to serve, to meditate, to engage in devotion must be ever there, fresh. And at the same time, humility and surrender must be there along with eagerness. Often, as coordinators or active workers, in our eagerness to achieve something, we end up forcing things upon others without humility. Why? Have we ever tried to know why humility is missing in us? Even when we take up a noble task in the mission of Lord. The reason is we are filled with enthusiasm and eagerness to take up the project, not 100% because we want to serve Lord. It may be there, but that eagerness is also mixed and contaminated with our ego, which conveys to us, I can do it. Not only that, I can do it the best way. In this ego, humility is gone, and such kind of chaturta is never appreciated or responded by Bhagavan. The lesson as though from this chopai is, be humble, be filled with love. Even if you are silent without involving in any activity, Swami recognizes your quality, your humility, your love. And if you are able to practice this love and humility, and with this humility and love, you are able to intensely take up spiritual activities, it is fantastic. Sone pe suhaga, as we say. We have to serve God as Hanuman, not like Ravana. Ravana was also devoted, but along with devotion, he carried his own ego. And that ego manifested in several ways. It's manifested as raga towards Sita, dvesha towards Rama and his senas, and so many other things. Dvesha towards Sugriva. And ultimately we know amongst the two who perished and who served Lord till the end. We all know very much. Each line, each expression in this Hanuman Chalisa is a very valid lifetime lesson for us to practice for generations to come, for yugas to come. And because of such lifetime invaluable lessons, this Hanuman Chalisa is shining, is living in the hearts of millions and millions of people in Bharat and abroad, even after several centuries after Goswami Tulsidas ji composed, or he did not compose, he just sang as a reverence to his God. We will deal with the next Pankti. Prabhu Charitra Sunibe ko Rasiya Ram Lakhan Sita Man Basiya, in the next talk. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hanuman, Jai Sai Ram.